Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. So today I'm going to talk about the transits because they're continue to be particularly intense as they have been all year. But now we're headed into an eclipse season for the end of the year because that's what we need. We need eclipses to join the party. Eclipses are portals. They're changes in our history. So who knows what's going to be, how it's going to show up looking. We can look at astrology and get a sense of the energy, but there's no way to specifically or accurately predict what the events are going to be. We can just feel what the climate can be using an astrology. To me, it's like the weather report, knowing that it's going to be sunny today, or we've got a chance of thunderstorms, or watch out for tornadoes. I think it's important to know what the transits are indicating or where the potentiality can be. And I am fascinated by the study of transits. I've been doing professional psychic readings since 1988. And astrology, I read my first astrology book at age 10. So I've been a student of astrology for years and years. And in the last several years, I have been diving into astrology study. If I've got a spare minute, I'm reading astrology books or I am looking at YouTube videos with other astrologers. So today the moon is in Pisces. The sun has just moved into Sagittarius, and Venus just moved into Scorpio. So we had two planets changing signs, the sun and Venus. And so anytime a planet changes signs, we feel a shift in energies. And I don't know about you guys, but I was exhausted today. It's been hard to be moving forward. My sleep was jacked last night. I couldn't sleep, woke up in the middle of the night, was up a couple hours, and then went back to sleep. And it was like I've just been tired all day long. So I feel like some of that may be allergies here in Austin, Texas, but also I think it's the changing of these planets and sun moving into a whole new theme. I see as the sun moves into different signs, we get a new theme, a new backdrop for our lives. And so it's been moving through Scorpio over the last 30 days. And now we have a new theme of Sag. Sag is a fire sign. It loves learning and knowledge, and it's about beliefs and what we believe or hold to be true. It also rules travel, foreign relations, foreign people, higher education, higher spiritual knowledge. These are the themes of Sag. And so as the sun moves through Sag in the early degrees or the first decan, it's really looking at what do we believe personally? What is my internal beliefs? What do I believe to be true? And we can have our beliefs brought up to the light. Is that what I still believe? Do I, is this, am I going to shift this? Am I going to keep this? We move into the second decan of Sag, then it's about what you believe to be true about other people, people around you. And then the third decan is about what do we believe about the future. So it's interesting to me. I feel this juxtaposition about what we think versus what we believe showing up in the transits right now, particularly because the North Node, which is basically like a compass about what being pointed to for us all to be learning right now, is in Gemini. It's been at 20 degrees Gemini for a while. And I see 20 degrees as two, a feel, I feel, and then zero is like holding space for setting boundaries and feeling out where to set the boundaries when it comes to our mind. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which rules the mind. So we've all been focused on what do I think? And so now we're going to add to what do I think or what do I believe? And they're two different octaves, right? Belief involves like your faith or a deeper level groundedness, where thinking is usually the thoughts we've been programmed with or what we've learned. Um, but when you add the feeling, it's really asking us to bypass the mind and intuit, and I feel like everybody has psychic abilities. Everyone's intuitive, and for some of us, the volume is turned up really loud, and other people's volume psychically is turned down, or the volume button's turned off. But I believe everybody can work to develop and enhance their psychic abilities. And I think the number one obstacle to tapping into your intuition and your psychic abilities is the mind, the things that we've been taught, the things that we have been told, the things we read, and what we believe. So these belief systems filter up and can block our intuitive view. Whereas if we move them aside and be open to new beliefs, open to new thoughts, then we can get some downloads. So I feel like this time with the north node at 20 degrees, the south node is also at 20 degrees in Sag. So we've already been working past life karma, collective karma with all of us on the planet about what we feel out, setting boundaries around what we believe and what we've believed for our whole lives, what we've believed for lifetimes. So that's been, I believe, that's what I think, these north and south node energies at 20. At the end of this week, they move backwards to 19, which is the one is I love, and 9 is like action. And so I feel like it's gonna be moving us from feeling things out to like, I'm ready to take action. I love this. I'm going to make a shift for it. I've been feeling this riled up energy. I believe that's Eris at 23 degrees, exactly square Pluto at 23 degrees. They've been doing this dance in close proximity for months. Eris being Mars's sister, war goddess. You know, she's one that runs out there and is on the front lines with the rest of the men, loves to get in there and duke it out. Pluto is death and transformation. So these two are in a square. They're going to fine tune it and get even more consynct over the next couple of weeks. And so protesting and rage and anger is being stirred up. Eris is in Aries. Mars is also in Aries right now. Mars has been in Aries for a long time. It's finally going direct again, although today it's still at 15 degrees, where it's been, even when it was retrograde, it was at 15 degrees. So we've been holding out at this same degree for a while. The end of this week, Mars goes into 16 degrees. So we began to start moving forward, begin to take action. Um, and again, Mars in Aries has been stirring up everyone. It's in its home side that's banking there. Just to me, what I've been seeing is that it's stirring up unresolved anger issues for everyone. It was a bit offline as it was going backwards, but now that it's moving back forwards again, I really worry about this steamed up, pissed off basically energy that it's triggering in folks. So I feel like we're going to have more volatile acting out happening. That's just kind of what I'm feeling. So the moon is now in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign, but it's more like mist, whereas Scorpio, where Venus just entered today and Mercury is there, it's the deep dark waters. So we're beginning to dive into Venus, what we love, deeper, right? And Mercury's already there in our heads and our belief system. We've been diving deeper. And so there's definitely a spirit all year long. There's been a spirit of going within, because we can't control really anything that's going on outside of us. What we can control is what's going on internally. So we've really been pointed again and again in lots of different ways to go within, and that is where the power is. So Pisces is also a very spiritual planet. So I had some really vivid dreams last night when I did finally go back to sleep after being jacked around for a while. I think that the moon illuminates things. And so Pisces rules the 12th house, which is the unconscious, the subconscious. So it can really bring things out. Neptune has been sitting in Pisces for a long time. It's at 18 degrees and it's retrograde. What's interesting is right before the full moon on the 30th, Neptune goes direct. So whenever a planet stops to turn one way or the other, to stop to turn to go direct or to stop to go retrograde, it's at its most powerful. So Neptune in a positive way rules our psychic abilities, our intuition, our dreams. It's again a very spiritual connection, especially being in Pisces. The downside of Neptune is delusion, illusion. It can be drug addiction, just like wanting to just check out. So as the moon gets closer to Neptune and then crosses Neptune in these next couple of days, we may feel on a positive side to have vivid dreams, vivid psychic downloads, our intuition being strengthened and heightened. And on the downside, I hope I did say the upside on the first one. On the downside, again, my brain is just offline a little bit, so apologize. On the downside, Neptune, moon crossing Neptune can be feeling like getting just drug into our deep mire within. Um, Addiction stuff being, even more illuminated, heightened. So if you've got problems with addictions, if that's an issue, you might feel that coming to a head here, and especially moving into the full moon, lunar eclipse. Full moons are shine the light on things. Eclipses uh, can be endings and portals and finishing off of stuff. So my sense is that there may be some people really finding that their addictive issues just come to a head this week and are culminating with some big sort of shocking dark night of the soul period where you may go, I can't do this anymore. And I'm talking about all kinds of addictions that addictions can definitely show up with abuse of substances, including food, but it also can be behavior patterns. I'm just feeling so many people acting out and feeling their worst selves right now. And and so this Sag sun moving into this new, like, what do you believe to be true about yourself? This can be an opportunity to bring to the light some hidden yucky belief systems that you have. So I feel like all addictions are pulling us down into a lower vibration, no matter what it is. And freedom from addiction really can only be found by reaching up and reaching higher to a spiritual aspect within ourselves, bringing the light in this way. So Pisces can really help facilitate that. Neptune and Pisces, the moon there in the next couple of days, can really help bring these things to a head. Then the moon moves into Aries in time for Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, the sun's going to be at 4 degrees, which is a breakdown, breakthrough, and the moon will be in Aries, joining Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And then by Friday, it'll be moving over Mars and Eris. So it can be a real volatile time over Thanksgiving. Watch if you are getting together with family, try to avoid politics and telling people what you think or believe, because it could be a time to easily get into breakdown conversations. Breakthrough is there as well. So if you can enter at being level headed, it can be a great time to have a conversation that is a breakthrough, but with the volatile energy that's going on right now, a breakdown and just people wanting to just spew at each other is really, really there. This weekend, the moon will be moving into Taurus. It'll be going over Black Lilith, which is conjunct Uranus. So Black Lilith represents our deepest fears. Uranus is sudden, unexpected things. It's a very spiritual planet, but it tears down things in order for them to be rebuilt by something else. With Black Lilith hanging in Taurus next to Uranus, it's already can be volatile, surprise things that trigger our fears can be coming up. When the moon traipses over that next weekend, it'll highlight that aspect. And then a week from tomorrow, on Monday the 30th, we'll be having the full moon lunar eclipse at 8 degrees Gemini, which interestingly is right exactly conjunct the chart for America, America's natal chart. That's where your Uranus is in America's natal chart. So just for those of you that might be interested in knowing, the chart I have for the United States of America is Thursday, the 4th of July at 1776 at 5:10 p.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's the chart I use to look at America. So America has its Uranus, its natal Uranus at 8 degrees. That's exactly where the lunar eclipse is on the 30th. So sudden, unexpected things for America can definitely be the theme for the day around this full moon lunar eclipse. Already, the full moon can bring out the lunatics, right? There's a reason for that word. Yeah, it's just, I have some sort of dread and trepidation around this upcoming lunar eclipse and how it impacts America. And that will be followed by a new moon solar eclipse December 14th, which is like, again, you begin to feel the eclipses ahead of time. So they're not always just on that day. You can feel them before and after. And then also we have two of the outer planets moving into new signs right around the winter solstice. I believe Saturn goes in there first, and 2 days later, Jupiter goes into Aquarius right in time for the winter solstice. And that also is going to be an incredibly powerful transformational time. So I went digging too. I'd heard this rumor, so I went and I looked it up and researched it, and it apparently is not a rumor. So there's a history of when Jupiter and Saturn come together. Now, they come together every 20 years. So when they come together, it starts a new 20-year cycle, right? So on the years where there's been a presidential election that ends in a zero, and Jupiter has been conjunct Saturn, the president that gets elected in that year is often assassinated within a few years of the election. In 1860, Lincoln was elected, and he was assassinated in 1865. So that was Jupiter and Saturn conjuncting in an Earth sign. It was in Virgo. Then in 1880, Garfield was elected. He was assassinated in 1881 when Jupiter and Saturn were in Taurus. In 1900, McKinley was elected. Jupiter and Saturn were in Capricorn. In 1901, he was assassinated. In 1960, we know who was elected, right? Kennedy. We just had the anniversary of his assassination in 1963 on this date, November 22nd. He was assassinated. In 1980, Reagan was elected. Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct in Libra, an air sign. So there was an attempted assassination on him in 1981. All right, so it hasn't happened every 20 years, but there's definitely been this consistent pattern of a president that's elected in a year ending in zero and Jupiter and Saturn conjunct, that there's been an assassination or assassination attempt. So I'm already been putting prayer around Biden, but it definitely leaves me concerned and worried considering the times that we've been in. And we've been in unprecedented, unexpected times in all kinds of ways. And I'm a bit worried about that. So I just thought that was some interesting history I would also throw out there to everyone else. So I have written some notes. So tomorrow we're going to have the Saturn, which is at 27 degrees of Capricorn right now, conjunct America's Pluto, which is 27 degrees of Capricorn. So Capricorn is our institutions, it's our earth sign. There's more presidents that have been Capricorn than any other sign. Saturn is our rules, our structures, our laws. Pluto is death and transformation. So there's this element of volatility right now with Saturn, our rule maker, conjunct the natal Pluto of America. We've been dealing with a stellium all year long of Pluto, the transiting Pluto, and Jupiter, which enlarges things and makes things bigger, and Saturn, the rule maker, the stop sign, the boundary maker, all together in the sky. So this stellium of these three planets, outer planets that move slowly, have not been together in the skies like this for thousands of years. So this is the unprecedented times we've been in as a result. And they won't be together in the skies like this for several thousand more years, right? Okay, so thankfully, in December, Saturn and Jupiter are moving out of Capricorn, beginning to move away from Pluto, death and transformation. Although Pluto won't move into Aquarius till 2023. It goes back and forth, right? It goes retrograde and straight. So it takes a while for it to move, and it's slow moving. It doesn't completely get into Aquarius. It begins to move in, I think, 2023, 24. So it'll be conjunct America's Pluto at 27 degrees, not until 2022. That's when that's going to be an interesting year. So we're still headed for more transformation within America for the next several years. We're going to continue to have things be transformed. Pluto has been demolishing. It's like a demolition crew. It's been taking down the things in Capricorn. What has it been taking down? Our institutions, our structures, our laws, how we build things, how we design things, and personally, how our own personal lives are constructed, what the foundations that we are building our lives around, what are our rules. And so that's been transformed as well. There will be some sort of relief and liftoff and energy change in December when Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius. But again, when planets shift, it's a big, powerful change. I'm hoping as it's moving into Aquarius, it'll be a breath of fresh air. Aquarius is humanity, where the people are most important. So the rule maker, Saturn and Jupiter, which expands that. The highlight will be on helping humans, helping individuals. Another thing I find interesting as I look at the America's chart. So Uranus has been in Taurus for 2.5 years. It takes 7 to 8 years to transit a sign. So it'll still be in Taurus for another 5 years. In America's chart, that's the 6th house, which is the house of health. So it's been shaking up America's health. And Black Lilith is there too. So these fears around health is being highlighted for all Americans. And I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. I really am worried about these eclipses just increasing the deaths in the United States. I just feel like it's going to be. I don't think it really takes a psychic right now to predict extra deaths, though. But with everybody's fears more heightened and Uranus shaking things up and all of this happening in Taurus, in the earth, well, it's shaking up the earth quite literally as well, but in America's 6th house of health, that there's going to be more people passing, especially with these eclipses, which are energy portals. A lot of deaths can happen around portal eclipses. So I'm really worried about that, really. So I've just been putting prayer up for assassination attempts protection. I've been putting prayer up around people that are crossing over. I mean, we're on planet Earth. The mortality rate here is 100%. So none of us get out of here alive. And I feel like overcoming your fear of death is one of the important things to do in terms of spiritual work and growth. I believe our souls, once our bodies get put down, our souls continue on. I'm a Buddhist. I believe in rebirth, reincarnation. As a professional psychic, I facilitate past life regressions. I've seen in countless clients, many, many lifetimes. So I feel very certain in the fact that this lifetime we're in right now is just part of the whole soul's evolution and journey. This is also why I believe it's so important to do your spiritual work and do the work of your soul's evolution and not get stuck in the dream, the illusion of the stuff. None of our stuff can we take with us into the next lifetime, right? We can't take our accolades, the things that we've accumulated, none of that. And so I feel like that's part of this paradigm shift we're moving through too. Um, moving these outer planets, moving from Capricorn, which represents our stuff, into Aquarius, which is an air sign, which is more about the feelings between people. And I also feel like we're going to be relying on each other as resources more. Humanity and people to people connection is the theme that we're going to be moving into with these outer planets in Aquarius. And again, Pluto will be moving into Aquarius 2023, 24, 25. Again, it does a little jolted pass. So I'll be talking about that more as it gets closer to it. What else do I see? Okay, so Venus moving into Scorpio. It's been in Libra. Libra was the relationship sign, and Venus is the relationship planet. So now the relationship planet moves into Scorpio. Scorpio is also a relationship sign, but it's the depth, the underbelly of relationship. What is the deep corded thing going on? What are we deeply passionate about? What do we love? Who do we love deeply? So as Venus begins its transit of Scorpio, these themes are going to be going on. Mercury's already mid degrees of Scorpio, so it's been there for a while. Our communication, our thoughts around deeper things. I see it in that way. Let's see, what else do I see that I want to talk about astrology wise? What notes do I have? All right, I already talked about the moon moving over Pisces and Neptune over the next couple of days. Emphasis towards psychic abilities. That's one of the strengths of the moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune. So pay attention to your dreams and insights. Again, with the full moon, that can also bring some major dreams, insights. Eclipses can bring psychic intuition strong. So it definitely is a very strong psychic week with the energy of the Gemini North Node and Mercury in Scorpio and the Sun in Sag. Again, these tossing around. What do I believe? What do I think to be true? We can get caught up in our head. So I really want to invite everybody to up your spiritual practices right now, like breathing deeply in and out fully. 3 deep breaths can be a shift in how you feel and think. The more you do that, the deeper that you can dive. Really trying to let go of your brain and your mind and tapping into your spirit is really important right now, to have your faculties with you, to know what you feel called to move into. Venus, Scorpio, I already talked about that. Mercury. Okay, so Mercury in Scorpio is trine Neptune this week. So again, there's a connection point between our mind and our intuition that can be really harmonious. So we can, I think it's going to enable us to be able to put down the mind and really feel things out. So I just am feeling this sort of psychic portal coming on this week with the moon's activities and heading into this eclipse. Eris square Pluto is going to bring the volatility factor. It stays in a square for the rest of the year. So this volatility factor of protest and transformation and people getting pissed off and ready to go fight for what they believe in, that's just really a backdrop for the rest of the year. Neptune is squaring the nodes. So this North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sag. Neptune is retrograde right now, but it stops to turn direct right before the full moon and the lunar eclipse. So that also adds some intensity to this eclipse and the square off with the nodes. I'm hearing the word confusion. It can make people just feel confused about what to do, and a lot of fears getting stirred up. And again, The downside of Neptune can be just fuzzy thinking and feeling just out of it. The upside of it could be getting clear spiritual connection, getting strong psychic hits. And it really is, where is your mind at? If you can put your mind at quiet and turn up the volume of your intuition, it can be a very powerful time. Otherwise, it can be a super confusing time. Okay. I already said this full moon lunar eclipse will be conjunct America's Uranus. Also, Mercury will be at 27 degrees of Scorpio when this full moon happens. And that will be, again, interfacing, it'll be sextiling America's Pluto. So again, this death and transformation theme is woven in several different places right now. Mars moves to 16 degrees this week, so it's starting to get moving. 16 is actually a spiritual degree. It makes to a 7. So, but it's been opposing America's Saturn during this stuck. America's Saturn in Libra is at 14 degrees. So when Mars has been kind of stuck at this 15 degrees, even when it was moving retrograde, it was really just kind of hanging around in a similar spot. It's been opposed to America's Saturn. So there has been this like frustration, not feeling like we can move, just everyone. So that's also interesting to me. We've been in this shutdown energy. People don't feel like they can move around in the way they want to. They're beginning to move, but it's still opposing. Anything within 3 degrees is a strong um, aspect. 7 degree within 7 degrees is still considered conjunct or opposed. So with America Saturn at 14 degrees of Libra and the transiting Mars at 15 degrees of Aries, that is a very strong opposition that we've been in for months now. And even as Mars moves to 16 degrees, we're still in this opposition. So again, I feel like it's half the country as opposed to the other half of the country. And right now we're really feeling like the divided states of America instead of the United States of America. So again, to me, that's a call for spiritual practices to really tap into all of humanity, all, not just everybody in the United States, but everybody in the world. A lot of these transits are affecting the entire world. Uranus and Taurus shakes up the entire world. Mars and Aries makes everyone on the planet pissy. These outer degrees of Capricorn with the stellium of Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, that's breaking down the structures and tearing down and demolishing the structures and the governments all over the world. I'm really feeling like there's going to be banking shifts. This Pluto that's transiting is transiting America's second house, which is where we store things. It's our food, it's our banks, it's our so we could even be going through some food shortages. We could go through currency banking. I really feel like the stock market is going to be like super volatile. And into next year, Saturn will be moving into a square with Uranus. So that's going to be bringing up sudden, unexpected things in our structures, like for like all year long. Like I think 8 months out of next year, there's a square between Saturn and Uranus. So we're not out of the woods. And so if we're looking or hoping that this will end and when will this all be over, I go back to my birth analogy. You just have to stay in this one moment. We're definitely in the birth canal right now, and it's intensive and painful. But if you breathe deeply and ask your higher self, what today do I feel guided to do, and get that direction and then take action on it today, you're going to be feeling some relief and some sense of power over these situations that are really putting us in a place to feel powerless. moving, just peeking ahead a little bit, and the December 14th new moon solar eclipse, um, it's going to be right in conjunction with America's rising sign, which is Sag. America is a Sag rising at 12 degrees. And so that's our America's identity. So there's definitely something super powerful that hitting the United States about the solar eclipse mid next month. Um, Uranus will be at 7 degrees at that time. Lilith will be 5, so they're moving closer together. So again, sudden unexpected things that stir up our fears. Mars will be exactly conjunct America's Chiron. America's Chiron is at 20 degrees of Aries. So with this solar eclipse in the middle of December, Mars is an active player as well, activating Chiron where we feel wounded. Um, Venus will be at 27 degrees of Scorpio, which will be sextiling America's Pluto. Like, oh my goodness, it's just it's super 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 intensive. Yeah, for a while. I mean, we're not. I mean, I wish I could tell you, oh, we're going to be over it, but no, it's more intensive. More intensive times to come. So the good news is you have power over your reaction to it. You have power when you listen to your intuition and follow its direction. Our higher self wants us to be safe. When you override your intuition, that's when you can get yourself in trouble. So again, this health crisis is going to get worse before it gets better. Um, there is a big shift in January of planets as well. So I don't want to move too much into 2021 yet, but we are doing a takedown of the things that we've believed in. So it's interesting, as the sun is going to be transiting Sag, we may be changing what we believe to be true about things. More people may be diving into spiritual practices with the sun and Sag. Sag rules that higher learning spiritual knowledge. So could definitely be a time of reaching up to your higher self, reaching in, diving into spiritual practices and new things to learn, new beliefs, what you thought to be true, maybe offer that up. Another thing that's standing out to me is the North Node in Gemini. Gemini rules communication, which also is media. So it all this not knowing what to believe, what's true, claims of things being fake, you know, I think that America's pretty much split down the middle in what they believe to be true when it comes across the media. So again, this is where you go within, you go into your own intuition, you find out what resonates as truth in my gut. And that shows up differently for different people. The third eye here is an area where intuition can feel activated. Even the back of the neck, the throat chakra here, you can feel psychic stuff up, you know, raising the hair on the back of your neck, that's a psychic place. A lot of people feel psychic intuition in their heart chakra because it's, oh, what feels right in your heart, in your gut. Your solar plexus here is another place where intuition can be felt strongly. So when you find yourself trapped in your mind and I just don't know, I don't know what to think, I don't know what to believe is what bubbles up, that's a great time to just go within, breathe deeply, check in with your body. Where do you feel stuff within your own system? If you feel yourself activated in the brain and the mind, try to move your attention into your breathing, into your chest, bring it into your gut. You can, like, tune into all your chakras and see how things are feeling in each one. Each chakra holds a different energy. And when all the chakras are open and aligned, you feel your best and you're at your greatest health. When something's shut down or stuck, it creates a dis-ease and a lack of flow within your system. So that can be a wonderful meditation to do too. And there are so many meditations that you can find online. If you can't guide one, if you can't do that with yourself, tune in to solfeggio frequencies. Those are great. You can find them all over YouTube, ways to clear out your energetic body, meditation, tapes of all sorts and kinds, listening to beautiful music, going for a walk, soaking in the tub. These are great ways to tap into your own inner voice. So, all right. Stay plugged in, stay alert and aware. These are historical times. And really, I feel like this last part of 2020 is really the most shocking and the most intensive that we've been through all year long. So keep breathing, just like you do through a labor and a new birth. Keep breathing because we will make it to the other side of this. All right. Peace.